Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PC Gamer Show for February 7th, 2019. 2018. I got the fucking year wrong?
I thought you were making a joke.
No. I'm just scrambled. I'm that scrambled right now.
Welcome to 2018, James.
20 great teen is what I've been calling it, but I don't know. After that whiff, I have to think of a new tagline. But yeah, anyway, we're here to talk about PC computer games that you play on your computer. And we've got a special guest today.
Oh.
Yes, from our sibling site, Games Radar, our senior news editor, Rachel.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming.
I love being here.
Yeah, we're hoping to get you guys on more often. Get that cross promotion going, cross content, pollination. Yeah, and we also have, as usual, the man on the screen, Chris Livingston.
The man, the legend.
Yeah.
Is he real or is he just a fancy AI we've created?
I can't see what I look like at the moment, so I'm assuming I'm in a box of some sort.
He's in a box floating in front of the table magically.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, welcome to the show. This week, you know, I was scraping for news, and nothing like monumental really came up, stood out to me. But we have some. There's like like a handful of
a scattering.
Yeah, of like small but significant, to our audience, things that have been going on. And we've also been playing a lot of games as usual.
Yes.
So we'll be talking about those. We'll be talking about a strange, very troubling, algorithmic program that transposes faces onto other faces in a somewhat believable way. And these people have been using it to make Witcher porn. So we'll discuss that briefly, and then we'll move into listener questions as always and close out. But yeah, let's begin by talking about what we've been playing, because we are, as they call us, gamers. So what have you been gaming, Rachel? What you been gaming?
I have been playing a bit of Hunt Showdown with my significant other.
Yeah, how's that been going?
It's very trying for a relationship, playing that kind of game together.
Why?
Because when you're relying on someone to revive you, but you can see that they're not coming to help, and they're off stocking up on ammo or some such. That can be a difficult time for a relationship. There's priorities are put out there, and there's a lot of things to discuss in the home life once you've.
It kind of brings it to the fore. It kind of pulls them up.
I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened. We had a similar situation. We don't play co-op together very often for precisely these reasons.
Yeah.
Was Borderlands 2, I think, was the first time we realized there was a huge issue. With the choice of it basically comes down to, do you want to revive your significant other who you've been with for 7 years and who takes care of your every need, or do you want to go and see what's in that loot box? And those are. I
mean, loot boxes.
So this is a recurring problem.
This is
many games.
Yeah, we also have very different play styles, so I'm very much the tank, so I will charge in. My other half prefers to kind of hang back and sort of check the inventories and make sure we're handling something. Yeah, and I'm very much a kind of...
Whatever. You figured it out as you go along.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean...
Yeah, the last time I played Hunt, I got so tired of, sneaking around and trying not to startle these monsters, and I just started shooting them. Every monster I saw, the zombies and
that's way more fun, right?
It is more fun, and it's it doesn't feel like a game where players are really going to be, even if they hear your shots, they're not going to come running over unless they're really close by. I feel like everyone's trying to find the clues, trying to scour around and get to the objective, as opposed to something like Daisy where you hear shots and you're definitely going to run over and try to take someone out. So it seems like it's not that unsafe to just go a little Call of Duty and just start killing zombies. Plus, I found this really awesome giant hammer that I was just mashing them. So that's how I've been kind of playing it.
Yeah, the hammers are great because you can also, I think, open certain doors with them that you can't otherwise. So Rachel, you've been playing the night map or the day map more often?
Mainly the day map.
Yeah.
Just I don't know why. I'm just drawn to that one more. I like the feel of it more, but I think that's probably just because I'm a bit of a baby. And I like being able to see.
I mean, that night map is like truly. It's hard for games to do darkness really well, and I think, you know, I haven't spent too much time with it, but the night maps are done very well because it feels like a real night, not like the gamma has been just turned down. It feels very dark, and every light source and every sound is almost amplified because I think because you can't rely on your vision as much, you're paying attention to the other senses way more, and it makes for a much slower match, I think, at night. But I've been preferring the night maps for that reason. I also cannot play them. I've been mostly watching Twitch streamers do it because they're braver than me.
I am really enjoying watching it on Twitch, actually. I like finding people that play kind of the same way as me, that kind of charge in. I find the people that play like a bit cautiously, I get almost an itchy trigger finger watching them. I'm just like, oh, for God's sake, get in there, man. Just come on, deal with it. Yeah.
Have you taken out one of the big bosses?
I came close with the spider, but
oh yeah, the first couple days, Evan was in the office just like because we were trying to cover the game and get real impressions of everything, and none of us could get to the spider.
Yeah.
And yet we heard you got in there like first match or something and ran into the spider.
Match.
Yeah.
Which was great fun, but it gave me a kind of twisted sense of how easy it was because then I haven't really come that close since. And also I tend to play with, when I'm not playing with the significant other, I do tend to just play with randos, and I do get a bit shy about audio because, you know, the internet. Fair enough. So that can make it true. I'm not always the greatest at working together with people. But yeah, no, first time, got to the spider and then just immediately freaked out and died.
It's scary as hell. That thing skitters around.
That's it.
Quickly.
They've really captured that unpredictable movement that spiders have that scares me in real life.
It's very erratic.
But I'm having just played, you know, like obviously the 4 maps so far. I'm super excited about that game kind of growing and building itself out and doing more of the bloodline stuff. And yeah, I think it's going to be for people like me that have like. I think horror could be the thing that drags me into that kind of gameplay a bit more than other things have.
Yeah, I just like being in that world, even though, like we've discussed, it's very uncomfortable and scary, and like I have a hard time seeing myself getting good at it for those reasons. But I like that feeling.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of knowing, that skilled other players are out there hunting me. That's like a good feeling. It's a horror feeling.
Yeah.
But also in like that world, they've realized that the graphics are just like incredible. The sound is, I think, Chris, you pointed out in our article, like the balance isn't quite there yet. For some of the zombies sound like they're next to you all the time, but there's
I think it definitely needs a little tweaking because I constantly felt like there was a gurgling in my ear, and I would look and there would be, it'd be like 30 feet away. But I do like that you kind of get an idea even when you're not looking at something, that stuff is around.
Yeah, you can like crunch in glass. There are like little cans hanging from strings in certain places. Crows, you can like spook them, and the zombies and the NPCs are also like signals. So there's signals for like where players are all the time, and they all like feed into that. I don't know, creating the illusion of a just devastated place. They don't really take away and feel like video gamey things. At least to me, so far. So I appreciate that quite a bit, and I'm so excited. Like, I don't think we have an early access like release date yet or anything, but I wouldn't doubt like it's in a pretty decent state for an alpha. Is that what we're at? And I wouldn't be surprised if they put it out there and just like start iterating pretty soon, because it looks so cool. Do you guys see the butcher yet?
Yes.
The other enemy.
I saw some clips of him. He looks slow but pretty scary.
Yeah, it's a damn good butcher. Tell you what, it's nasty. Cool. Anything else, Rachel?
Yeah, I've also been playing. I got an early build of Verdant Skies, which is a kind of Stardew Valley in space. Is probably the easiest way to describe it. You're a space colonist. Your pod crashes, and then you have to kind of start from scratch with crops and making friends and collecting rocks and crafting things. So it's a little bit rough around the edges. It's kind of it's got an almost like a cartoonish look to it that I quite enjoy, but some of the animations are maybe not quite there. But it's just I put it on last night to just kind of check it out. It's something I'd seen at PAX and sort of played a bit there, but I downloaded the early build that I got and ended up spending 3 hours like just in the world, fishing and crafting things and building relationships with people around. Does
it feel like it's changing, or does anything unique or interesting besides the setting for that kind of farmy Zen garden genre?
There's kind of all the usual crafting stuff you would expect, but then it goes a bit deeper than that because you can start splicing genes for some of the crops, and some of the animals, which I haven't been able to afford the animal pen yet that I need to build. But yeah, when I get there, I find that kind of interesting, that taking it to that kind of level beyond Stardew, but it's just it's scratching that same itch that Stardew scratched for me, which is that kind of gentle farm management, but with like just a little bit of weirdness to keep me checking things out. So I'm a terrible journalist and have not looked up when that's due out, but
it's all right.
I'm sure it's soon. Yeah, it's Verdant Skies. It's on Steam. You can go and check out their store page now.
I think a good gaming practice, good gaming health, you should always have some kind of farming game that you can go to.
Yeah.
Always have one in the background, or at least something to return to decompress with and just spend a nice afternoon on. Tend to your garden. I'm thinking about getting into farming simulators, straight up, like
the deep.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about trying it.
I mean, I feel like that speaks to something in your Montana
well,
ancestry.
Yeah, I can't talk about it yet, but there's what's it called? Pure Farming 2018. It's like the first like major, I think, attempt to compete with Farming Simulator, the other series, the kind of everything simulator series. I'm forgetting the developer that kind of does most of those. But Pure Farming is coming from Techland, and the main area the main farming area is Montana. So I'm excited to see what it's like, and if it is faithful to at least what I gathered through osmosis from my future Farmers of America friends, all in the same club, touching pigs. I don't know what farmers do. They touch pigs and pull carrots out of the ground. I guess I don't know, but I don't know. I want to take it. I'm fascinated by how. I'm mostly fascinated with people that are fascinated with these games, because I'm curious to know what it is about rendering a real tractor, an actual model of tractor in a game that is so appealing to people, because that is the gadgetry and the machine love is what really drives those games. For a lot of people, at least. So
yeah, I think it's all wish fulfillment, isn't it? It's all the grass is greener. It's all as people sat in offices going, if only we could be out there breaking our backs on a farm.
I know. It's funny because
so much happier.
I think we wrote a story about a Stardew Valley player who's went off and started a farm because of that game, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check the subreddit of Farming Simulator and see if that's the case. And it's every other guy is just I started a farm because of farming. It's not even a special thing. Everyone's buying tractors and shit.
Do you think people have become truckers after playing Euro Truck?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there were even people in the farming. There's cross-pollination in the Farming Simulator subreddit saying oh, I did this also with a truck. I also have a truck now, by the way. It's pick one. Pick one. Can't do it all. You could just farm your own potatoes, truck them across the nation, and then truck them back. Yeah. Anything else? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Is that
no? Those are the two things.
Those are the two big things. Yeah. Anything you're looking forward to in the near future?
I mean, I am really looking forward to Ni no Kuni 2.
Is that releasing this spring?
Yes, I believe so.
Because it was meant to release last fall or something.
Yeah,
it was delayed.
I believe it's been delayed, but yeah, I've been sort of lucky enough to play a few previews, and
gotcha.
Damn, it's so pure and wholesome.
Hey, that's something we could all use right now, I'm sure. Yeah, that game keeps kind of unraveling to me in over like each round of media previews and such. Like I think I saw it like a year ago at E3 or something, and there's this kind of battle system. It was pretty to look at, but I didn't really understand what was going on. It's kind of a hard thing to preview. And then later I heard there's like an RTS sort of thing happening in that game too. Do you know? Do you know what's going on there?
Which bits I can talk about. So yeah, there's the kind of, I know they've already announced like the chibi kind of overworld skirmish stuff that's happening. Okay, that's really cool. And then there is kind of a your character has a kingdom, and there's some management involved in running that kingdom. Okay.
So there's more than just running like the traditional RPG running around towns. And
there's a lot more depth to it than you sort of saw from those early previews. But the stuff, just the world is stunning. All the characters like perfectly realized. It's just
some ex-Ghibli artists, if you guys don't know, are attached to this stuff. And on PC,
and you can tell that.
Not to like toot the PC's horn here, but I'm sure like all that anti-aliasing is going to make those characters look really sharp, and it's going to be a pretty game on a nice monitor or TV. Cool. Well, I won't like try to trip you up over your embargo anymore. No. But cool. Chris, what about you? You been jamming on any of these video games these kids are playing?
Well, actually, I was doing a bit of farming, mostly crafting, though, in my time at Porsche, which is like, I guess I never played Stardew. I bought it and have stopped myself from playing it about 100 times because all I hear is people get addicted to it, and I'm like, I can't really afford to be addicted to something right now. So yeah, my time at Porsche, it's in early access. It's it's kind of, I guess, the same thing. There's like a town, and you have a little workshop just outside town, and you can craft things for yourself or take little jobs crafting, and there's also a little bit of farming and some monster killing and mining for resources, and so it's been okay. It's a bit grindy, I guess most of these games are, but also kind of enjoyable. Like it really throws you into some really complicated crafting projects almost immediately. Like the first task was like, make a hammer out of a rock and a stick. And the second was like, make a pickaxe out of a rock and another stick. And then it's like, build a 3-section bridge out of copper pipe that you need to mine and then ore, and then have 3 new crafting tables. And it was just something I was like, whoa, I thought like the next thing might be, a box or something.
Right.
But it's kind of cute. I haven't really gotten drawn into the town is full of little people with little personalities, and I haven't really been too drawn into their stories so much, just because I've been busy, digging for copper and chopping down trees and things. But it's really cute. There's like a day, I didn't really know. You have this mailbox outside your house, and every day there's like a letter in there about something. It's like, I don't even read my own email, let alone game mail. But I missed like this announcement that there's this holiday in this town where this airship will like drop presents down on people. Okay. And I just like kind of looked over the town at one point. I was like, what the hell is going on? There's like 1,000 people running around like crazy. And I got there just at the end, and I was just like, I became this like madman, just like, they're dropping presents. I gotta, and there's like little kids like running around and like shoving past them to get as many presents as I can. So it's cute. It's fun. It is kind of grindy. I've not been so much into the grind, but it's my current farming experience that I think, like you said, everyone needs. And this week I also played something called Freeman, not Gordon Freeman, but Freeman. Okay. Guerrilla Warfare, which I found kind of interesting because it's very heavily inspired by Mount & Blade, which is a game I really love. Okay. And we're all kind of sitting here like waiting for Bannerlord or waiting for Kingdom Come, something to kind of give us that kind of experience. And this is modern day warfare with guns and AKs and things, but it's also very Mount & Blade-ish in terms of this kind of overland map where you kind of walk around from town to town. There's factions and bandits and things. When you get in a fight, it becomes a first-person combat game, and you have a squad, and you fight other squads. But there's also like an RTS layer where you can direct your different squads around the map using a 2D version of the map. So it's kind of like a bunch of different things all rolled together. You got the RPG stuff, the FPS and the RTS. It's in early access also. It feels very bare right now. There's not a lot to get involved in terms of doing missions and quests and things. But I think it's pretty promising, and I had fun, even though I was really not very good at the combat. I don't know. I get in these matches, and there's like a guy is just a speck on the hill, and I'm like, I can't even see him. I can't hit him. My squad mates, I'm like just looking at my squad mate, my AI squad mates, just to see where they're aiming to get some idea of where the enemies are. But it does look pretty cool, and it has a very heavy Mountain Blade feel to it. So I was pretty into that this week too.
Cool. That sounds like something our audience is pretty thirsty for lately. Anytime like we get a trickle, like if we learn there's a new hat in Mountain Blade 2 or whatever, like it's suddenly on the subreddit top story, like thousands of upvotes. I don't understand, so I suppose I should try to understand and play these damn games. But that's one more time. That's Freeman Guerrilla Warfare for those of you just tuning in. And it's early access, but some promising
early access.
ideas.
I think it just came out a few days ago.
Cool.
I think they said they're going to spend about a year, or probably the most of the year, in early access. So
cool.
We'll see how it develops.
Right on. That's exciting. Speaking of early access, I've been playing a game that recently came out of it and was in there for quite a while. Subnautica. If you guys know what Subnautica is. It's very cool. It's,
have you had any fish-based tragedies?
Fish-based tragedies?
Did you not hear about the fish-based tragedies?
What's this?
So you know the time capsules.
Okay.
That you can. So when you leave, so someone found one of these time capsules, and it was full of fish, and they were like, oh, great, like I'll just eat them. And then they realized that there was like a note with the fish that explained that they were someone's pets, and they all had names and personalities, and it was things like don't put Oswald and Steve together because they don't get along, and Michael can't be on his own because he gets lonely, and but the people it was too late. But,
oh, no.
Yeah, so
that's too sad.
Yeah, that made me want to play the game.
It's a very it's way more than I thought it was, that game, because I don't know, its description, or at least like an easy way to describe it to people would be to say, oh, it's a survival game with some crafting, but really that's like the structure, that's like the foundation for something much deeper. Ocean joke. I did not know the world was like handcrafted to start, and that the story is like what really drives it. This is not meant to be like one of those big arc, bunch of teens on an island in, muscular avatar bodies just griefing each other. This is you alone in the ocean after a crash landing from a giant spaceship, and trying to survive and get home. But as you progress and as you sort of like start building a base and venturing out further into the ocean, you get these radio calls that fill in these like kind of small story beats. None of it's really told to you. You don't really get like exactly who you're working for or what their mission was, or the nature of the world you're on immediately, but it's kind of drip fed you into things you find, and through these kind of small epistolary like diaries and such, typical video gamey stuff. But I think it running into, how do I say these things without spoiling it? Discovering some of the things you do in such an atmospheric, like underwater, like isolated world, with like like layered beneath those the traditional like hunger, thirst, survival like systems, really makes the discovery hit home like a lot harder, because I don't know, it kind of just like fills in those role playing feelings. Like one time I was venturing out, and I found this island, and I found things on that island that were a total revelation. But I was also like at the edge of my hunger and thirst, and like I had swam for far too long. Night was coming, and I was gonna get lost almost surely. I didn't. I was okay because of things I found there. But like feeling like at the edge of the end of my rope and desperate really like went a long way in like making that discovery feel fucking cool. And I realize these are all very broad stroke descriptions, but I think play for like 5 hours if you 5 to 6 hours if you were like on the edge with this game, and you'll probably find something that will either fascinate you, or if you're not fascinated by it, it's probably not for you. Yeah, really special game, beautiful too.
I am sold.
Yeah, some lovely little like funny creatures and spooky environments. You can turn off like the thirst and hunger too if you like. You don't really have to do that stuff. And sometimes, I won't lie, I go into the console commands if I'm like about to die and I don't really want to waste any time and just feed myself. But
I think I have like a primal fear of any game set underwater, just because of coming up in the generations where games really couldn't do swimming or any kind of underwater movement or physics, you know? Like any game where there was water, it was a disaster and awful. So
I feel ya.
It makes me kind of wrongly overly cautious with the minute I see a game's like set, you know, underwater, I'm like, oh.
It can be frustrating. I mean, like swimming around in first person is not a big deal, but it can be frustrating at first because it really like drip feeds you blueprints and learning like how to construct things. It's a slow process, feeling like being able to move further and further away from your base. And that can be super frustrating because you'll see something cool and it's just out of reach, and you just know you can't go there until you learn how to do smash these objects together to make a magical thing, or scan something and find a blueprint that'll allow you to move further away. That can be really frustrating because you just want to go and explore. But I think in the long run, it's worth being patient for, because when you finally do, earn the ability to swim through radiated water or below 100 meters, it's like, goddamn, finally I can do this. Like, I earned this. And there's almost always something worthwhile, spending the time building up for beyond there. So yeah, Subnautica is tight. It's really cool. Chris, did you play Subnautica? You're kind of our survival games guy.
Yeah, no, I have not played it. I have it.
Okay.
I think like it seemed like everyone was kind of playing it, so I'm like, I think we're covered with the survival stuff. And
yeah,
I'm usually looking for an excuse not to play a survival game because I've played so many of them. I'm pleased this one doesn't have apparently trees that need to be chopped down, because I'm really tired of chopping down trees.
How many trees do you think you've chopped down in your gaming lifetime?
Oh my god! If you include like Minecraft and Ark and all those kind of games, I don't know. It's a good question. A lot. Too many.
I'm sorry to hear that. There are rocks you have to bash, and you can slash at kelp, but there's no really super monotonous thing you're doing in that game. There's an ocean of resources and fish and things to grab and or poke at. So I don't know. There's no like one rote task you're stuck with usually, as far as I can tell.
So have you spent all your time underwater recently, or have you peeked out to play anything else?
Oh, yes. I have a list here. I'm not going to spend as much time on all of them, but also playing some Hunt here and there when I get brave and don't feel too anxious. And it's not it's a console game right now, but I got a Monster Hunter is taking up all my time. It will be on the PC, so
yeah.
I'm not afraid to mention it here. I think everyone's going to be super excited and pleased with that when it comes out, if they make a reasonable port. But yeah, I'm still sinking time into that, and
I admire you. I've got it on console. I went in, I made my character. She looks like a hot mess. Made my Palico, which I love. I do love the cats, but it's too much for me. I can't deal with it.
It's much more transparently about the gear and the stats than like Destiny or something is. Destiny's like you can hop in and shoot stuff, and you can worry about your gear sort of naturally. It's like thrown at you basically. In this, it's like you're going out to farm this thing to get this component that will build this, these pants, and maybe that's not as exciting or as natural to hop into. But I think for the people who play these games for loot and to like really feel like they're building a character and love min-maxing and thinking about how to make an efficient monster killer, then it's that fantasy. Like,
yeah, I fear for PC gamers Tim Clark when it arrives on PC.
I think he's doomed, honestly.
Yeah, anything where there's a spreadsheet.
Oh,
and he is involved.
Oh, you can get so. It's the kind of game that once you think you beat it, it's like, nah, that's just the main story. Now it's the end game. We're gonna unlock like double the systems and double the materials and change everything you've played before in these ways. And I think you won't see him for a couple months, so I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, that and Shadow of the Colossus remake, but again, I am a traitor. It just got me thinking about big bosses though, and has there been a good big boss game on PC? Any big bosses? I don't think so.
I don't feel like there really is one, honestly. There's one. What was the one? I think it's maybe not out yet, but we maybe saw at E3. There was a lot of climbing and jumping on the boss and cutting off his arms and legs, which would grow back slowly. You know what I'm talking about?
It's coming out soon. God damn. It's by I think they worked on the Killer Instinct, the recent Killer Instinct game. It's our viewers might know. Gosh, it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm sure someone will bring it up, or maybe Chris, you can go.
I probably shouldn't have brought it up without knowing what it was called.
It's all right. We'll remember it when it comes up. But yeah, I don't know. Got me thinking. I want more big bosses. Give me some big bosses. Destiny 2. Most of the bosses were tiny, and you kill them the same way. Monster Hunter. Some good, pretty big bosses, but nothing you climb really. I want to climb something and stab it in the back of the knee, and then watch it fall down. And I guess there's Attack on Titan and Attack on Titan 2, but anime. Anyway, let's move on to some news. Again,
are we at the porn bit yet?
We'll get to I'll announce it. I'll make sure everybody knows. We're just going to run through some quick news stories here. Not a lot going on in broad stroke terms. It's like the big stories are still, can you get a graphics card? Probably not. Bitcoin is still ruining that for us. Bitcoin price went down quite a bit over the weekend, but not enough to really change the fact that everyone still wants to get Bitcoin and use your GPUs to do that. So not a good time to get into PC gaming unless you like lo-fi games that you can run on integrated graphics, like Into the Breach, which is do you guys know about this? Does this ring a bell, this name?
Yes.
Into the Breach? It's by the FTL developers, and it's their next game. I think it's like an RTS style kind of minimalist mech game.
Really nice looking. Right?
Yeah, and they got the same guy doing music, so I think it's going to be our preview editorials have all been pretty glowing so far.
Yeah,
so.
I don't see that being any.
No.
I think everyone will love it.
And that's coming out later this month. It got announced that it's coming out in, I think, February 27th. Yeah, February 27th.
Boom.
So, surprise, early. This could be a lot of people's game of the year right away in February. So, I'm excited to play that. We also learned that The Surge 2. You guys know about The Surge, the sort of cyberpunk, terrible future, Dark Souls game that I think it was pretty well received. I didn't play it myself, but we're getting a sequel in 2019, which is pretty exciting, I suppose.
Well, I mean, for you, that's this year, so...
That is...
That's...
Time is meaningless to me.
It's a flat circle.
You guys excited about The Surge 2? No.
I never played the original.
It's not... I always admire those games from afar, but the minute you say something is like Dark Souls, I'm like, that's not for me.
I know. It's like, I try not to like be reductive in that way, but it is very clearly meant to be like the futuristic Dark Souls. Yeah. And people liked it. I'll play it someday, I'm sure, but no, I won't. Fuck that. I still have to play Divinity Original Sin 2. I got a whole backlog. I don't play games anymore. It's just not possible. This is pretty cool news. I think one of the highest reviews we've ever given to a PC game has been
rightly so.
Kerbal Space Program. And there's an expansion coming out called the Making History expansion next month.
Look how cute those little guys are.
Gosh, they're the cutest. So yeah, this was announced last year in March, and 2 big additions are coming. Is a mission builder, so you can create your own scenarios and share them with other people, and a history pack containing pre-made mission based on mankind's actual attempts to get into space. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I think the kind of people that are still playing that game as well are going to be the kind of people that make really good missions. So I'm pretty excited to go in and
definitely
check out some.
Did you play much Kerbal?
Yes.
When it came out?
I wasn't very good at it.
No.
But I really loved it.
It's the kind of game I wish I knew I could get good at. Like I see these YouTube series and like listen to these gaming podcasts when it was out and hearing all these like valiant stories about saving your Kerbal that was rotating the moon or whatever lost on. And I'm like, I can't even get a fucking rocket off the ground. Did you play much of Kerbal?
I was very good at stranding astronauts in very quickly spinning capsules. And it's kind of terrible because like they just stay up there, you know. You have a mission go wrong, and then you're kind of making adjustments to your spacecraft and relaunching, and then you look at your solar system, and it's like, oh, that first guy, he's still stuck in there with a horrified expression on his face, still spinning around the sun, and I'll probably never be good enough to go get him. And it's sort of interesting. It's kind of like a fun exploration, challenging, but then also like extreme guilt of past failures.
Oh, definitely.
But I think it is great. I think it's.
I need someone to write some fan fiction about a Kerbal just spinning endlessly
What did they
around
do?
the sun. Just the thoughts going through his mind, remembering his family.
Oh my God, those poor.
Going slowly mad.
They're so cute. It hurts my heart. But yeah, that's exciting. We got more Kerbal coming. I don't know. After reading about the troubled history of that studio, I'm at least happy that there's some stability enough to make this expansion. So that's cool. Final chunk of news here. I'm not a big esports guy. I'm not a big StarCraft person, but everyone was raving about Scarlett's win at Intel's pre-Winter Olympics 2018 StarCraft 2 event. So last night in Pyeongchang, South Korea, Scarlett took the prize.
Yeah, it was lovely to watch as well, actually.
Yeah. Oh, you saw this? Good.
Yeah, we kind of tuned in because we were like, oh my God, this is like a genuinely a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, the word was going out on Twitter like, oh my God, you know, it looks like she's going to win. You've got to get on your streams. And so we tuned in to watch. And yeah, what was lovely was like how she was just kind of blown away by it as well, you know, because, and I don't want to overgeneralize, but so like sometimes when, you know, people win big esports championships, they kind of like, there's not really much of a reaction there. They're like, you know, I played very well and I won. Like, whereas she was genuinely like seemed taken aback and thrilled, and it was really, really nice to see. You felt kind of like, you know, very much on her side. And
I'll have to go back and watch it because that's really exciting to me. But yeah, it's good to see. It's also nice to see like some interest in StarCraft 2. Kind of, I feel like maybe it's just like, I don't know. I've been hearing about it in a small circle a bit more, but I get the impression it's kind of rising back a bit. Maybe since the free-to-play decision, but yeah, I'm glad to see more people playing StarCraft 2 and see some focus on that. Besides, you know, the nonstop Overwatch / MOBA.
Yeah. I'm
stream the last 5 years. So.
I find, as someone who's, you know, dabbled with some StarCraft as well, like I find it a lot easier to pass what I'm seeing visually than I do when someone's playing Dota or something. Like I know what winning in StarCraft looks like. So yeah, it was really, really fun to watch. And I remember reading in a profile of her that she prepares for a big match by having a cup of hot chocolate. So I feel like she's
that's
girl
relatable.
After my own heart. Yeah, like that's the kind of sports training I can get behind.
Yeah, I'm into that. Right on. Cool. So that's the news. That's literally all the news.
Now is it time for the NSFW section?
Yes, now is the NSFW
Children
hour.
Turn Away.
We'll be on this topic for quite some time.
gonna
No, we won't.
deep dive into the orifices of this story.
Yes. Oh God, Rachel.
Sorry.
Why?
Sorry.
Why? Okay, so some background here. For those of you who don't know, there's this a Redditor who kind of wrote an accessible Windows program that it's an AI script, so to speak, that if you feed it some footage of a person's face or get it a certain amount of photos that are clear, then you can, using any old GPU, crunch that face. Transpose and crunch that face onto another person's body, or like in a video. So it's like super Snapchat face swap, if you have ever used that. The difference here is that, like, you can go in and sort of tweak the results, and with enough computer processing power, you can make a result that is pretty, like, uncanny, but convincing in some instances. This is where it gets, well, if it's not troubling to you yet.
What on earth could the internet use this for, James?
Yeah. If it's not troubling to you yet, the deepfakes user opened up his, or I don't know, someone founded a deepfakes subreddit, and the most, I mean, what are people going to use this for immediately on the internet? Obviously, they're going to use it for porn. Yeah. So
that's what the internet's for.
Non-consensually, for both parties, the most popular use to begin with was, we're going to put our favorite celebrity crushes on, in some porn, and that's pretty fucked up and immediately, and the implications of that are even more terrifying.
I mean, the pie chart of, like, ways it's okay to use this tech versus like ways that are a little bit like that are probably not okay, like that pie chart is,
it's
one piece of lopsided. Pie is much bigger.
We'll say the most innocent uses of it, which I thought were pretty funny, were taking Nick Cage's face and putting him in like every movie in clips. That's like ha 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 ha. Still troubling because some of them were so convincing. And it doesn't erase the fact what this can be used for, and what people used it for. I think is the next natural step for people on the internet, is to put their favorite video game characters onto their favorite porn actresses. And last week I found that, of course, that they were using footage from The Witcher, Triss Marigold and Yennefer specifically, to transpose their faces onto actual porn clips. And the result, like, if the normal result was eerie, this result was just messed up, obviously. Very, very creepy. No point to it, other than, well, someone had a point to it, not our point. So scary stuff with scary implications. Luckily, just today we got the word that Reddit shut down the subreddit. That does not mean the program itself is gone, or like that we have to not think about this collectively anymore. But yeah, it's they shut it down, citing that it violates their policy against involuntary pornography. Good. And here's the quote they gave. Reddit prohibits the dissemination of images or video depicting any person in a state of nudity or engaged in any act of sexual conduct, apparently created or posted without their permission, including depictions that have been faked. That includes putting digital, fake, fictional characters onto real people. Additionally, do not post images or video of another person for the specific purpose of faking explicit content or soliciting lookalike pornography. So, obviously, big shutdown. Like, clearly violates the rules, and it's nice to see them taking action. It's also worth noting that alongside this deepfakes takedown, they took down like a lot of older subreddits that were just purely about photoshopping celebrity images onto, or whoever, onto other bodies. So that's nice too. It's nice to see, like, maybe a little late in that respect, but I guess I'm happy to see it happening now.
Do you think it was a general fear of celebrities with powerful lawyers filing lawsuits? Do you think it was a general, or do you think it was like just a general good intention move by them?
I think it's partly a reaction to like this kind of thing has been around as long as people could Photoshop in the internet, but I feel like it's only really in the last few years that you've been able to do it really convincingly, and I think that's where it gets.
It's scary. Like some of those Nick Cage videos I saw were like, it was kind of unbelievable. Like how you maybe have to squint a bit, but that might be a person. And because I know it's Nick Cage on in some random movie, like I can sort of see the illusion, but if you don't know this tech is being used, and like you don't have your critical eye on, as we do when we look at a lot of
if someone sends you a clip to your mother with your face in it, and it looks like you, and something terrible's happening, like is it?
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad, especially because...
I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm saying, like, it's a lot more easier to do that now than maybe it was, and I think it's one of these, as tech changes, we have to figure out where the new rules are, and...
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I mean, I'm most concerned that it will hurt the chances of getting a real sex-positive, well-acted Witcher porn series.
You would think by now... What's the rule? What's the internet rule? Rule 32? I don't know.
Rule 47?
Rule 47, is that it? Well, there's a
34.
porn. 34?
34? There's
a porn of everything? Gosh, am I like I'm outdated already. I'm surprised there's not one already. Seeing that there's already been a Witcher TV show, right? A series of books, which, well, that's what spawned The Witcher. There's been I think there was an old TV show in like early 2000s or something, like almost a soap opera budget one. We've had three major games, and we're getting a new, I think, Netflix series.
Yes.
What's your Netflix series? No porn yet. No beautifully constructed, sex positive, well acted Witcher porn. So, cross your fingers.
If you're making a series of sex positive Witcher porn, let us know.
Get in touch with me, please. But until then, I guess just be patient. Don't be seeking out deep fakes to transpose and create an abomination, a Frankenstein sex monster that no one needs in this world. But we'll be paying attention to this.
Consent is sexy, people.
It is. It is. Let's move on to... I prepared a quiz for you guys.
Yeah, is this like disinfecting our brains with a quiz?
Gotta come down from the horrors of humanity and technology.
A moral minefield you put me in.
Yeah, and we're going to do a quiz. So how many of... I know you guys both just eat up my Build of the Week column that I write.
I love a Build of the Week.
Oh, you do?
I do.
I was going to make a joke out of how no one knows it and reads it. But so I have a topic listed somewhere here. Maybe I didn't write it down. Build of the Week is a column.
An excellent column.
Oh, thank you. Where I find a custom computer or case mod that someone builds every week. So what I did is I went through and found plenty of these, previous cases I had written about and computers I had written about, and using the help of everyone in the Slack channel, made up a bunch of computers that people have, well, hopefully not made. They might have. I guess we'll find out after the quiz. And what you have to do is I'm going to give you two plausible computer mods, and you have to guess which one is real.
Okay.
So, do we need a buzzer for this? Because I don't have a buzzer.
No buzzer.
No buzzer?
I'll just let you know. But that's good feedback. We'll get some buzzers. Let me get the quiz up here. I have to turn this away from you, Rachel.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Okay. Y'all ready? Viewers, listeners, play along, please. Okay. The first question. Which is a real custom PC and which is not? We'll start simple.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Groot or a Minion? Which one has been made into a computer?
Oh. I feel like the Minion would be easier because the Minion is basically just a pod anyway, right?
People love Baby Groot.
People love Baby Groot
to the extent that I don't quite understand. I'm going to say Baby Groot is now a PC.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
So both saying Baby Groot?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Baby Groot
Yay.
is a PC. Baby Groot is a PC. I'm going to link these in the chat so you can take a peek. It's this beautiful porcelain-looking recreation of the guy, and I think it's quite creepy, if you ask me.
Baby Groot is.
Does it dance?
It does not dance. It's frozen in that weird smile it has.
Adorable smile.
It's. I have a weird problem with these like every movie having a small comical cute
Merchandising, James.
I get it.
Merchandising.
You got
Jesus.
Porgs in Star Wars, Minions, Groots. There's always some like droid. I don't know.
Is Groot is that the species or just the name of the tree monster?
I think that's his name. He is Groot.
So
He's not a Groot.
Is it like son of, in the second movie, is it like son of Groot or is it Groot?
It's Groot reincarnated.
Okay, so it's the same Groot. Okay,
Yeah.
I was
same
curious.
Groot.
I'm not,
Growing
I'm
back.
not familiar with the Groot lore.
Don't worry about it. It's not. It's trees. There you go. That's the lore. Okay, next question. Which is a real custom PC and which is not? A stuffed bobcat with a computer inside, or a computer carved from a log?
Bobcat.
You're saying the bobcat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a log.
You think there's a computer carved from a log? Bobcat. You locking
I'd
them
say
in?
Bobcat.
Viewers, get your answers in. Get your answers in. Correct answer is the log.
Oh.
The log. But
I thought the Bobcat was too crazy for you to have come up with me.
Well, here's the thing. I'm like surprised that hasn't happened, or if it has happened, that I haven't figured it out yet. Because that seems like the easiest. Okay, not easiest thing, but if I was gonna make a custom computer,
You'd use a bobcat?
I mean, just like there's stuffed animals lying all around.
I feel like Big Game Hunter
Yeah, right.
in a big game hunting trophy is a win-win.
I feel like there's got to be some kind of cross section of people who have a lot of taxidermied animals.
There's a lot of room in a bison.
Yeah, and exactly. Just pop a computer in there. Run some wires out the butt. Okay.
I'm disappointed in that.
Yeah, there is a computer called Yggdrasil. It's not entirely carved from a log. Obviously, you can't carve a GPU
I mean, that's just
from a
wood.
log.
That's just a wood mod case.
I mean, they
That's
carved
not
the actual like chassis from a log. Okay, whatever.
wasting my time.
Right. Let's move on to the next question. See if you can guess the Tyler answers. Let's do this one. Okay. Which is a real custom PC and which is not? A wall or 32 copies of Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion glued together and hollowed out.
Now,
Just-
that one
just
feels,
a
that one
wall.
feels too specific to be
Just a wall.
just a wall,
A
like a
wall.
wall of a house.
Like it's in a wall or it
I can't
is a wall.
describe like the answer if it might be unreal.
But I just feel like
I
there's
can't-
no context.
It's a.
I'm
wall.
gonna say a wall because you've given us so little.
Okay, we got a wall.
I'm gonna use Rachel's strategy from last one that you can't make up 32 copies of Richard Dawkins unless someone made it. Unless it's a trick question and someone used 30 copies to make a computer. And you just change it.
That would be slimy. That would be slimy.
So I'll go with the 32 copies.
It's the wall.
It's the wall. You just made that up. Who made that up?
I mean, isn't that just an ATM?
Well,
What?
That's a Tyler answer for you. There's a computer called Cam. It's a wall and also a PC. I mean, there's a theme to it. I'll see if we can turn it for you.
This
here,
is
Rachel.
worse than the log.
It's a wall. It's this whole thing. It's got a fake window too, so it looks like you're looking out to almost an underwater environment or some kind of cat. You know. I'm sorry. Maybe okay. I'll try and be less,
I just
minimalist there with
come
my.
on, people. We could be putting them in bobcats and we're wasting our time with walls.
I'm disappointed in a lot of these real PCs, and also just sort of depressed by some, and flabbergasted and blown away. It's the column really messes with me. I tell you what.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Every week, I tell you. Okay, which is a real custom PC and which is not? A top hat or a life-size sniper rifle?
When you say life size, like at the size of an actual sniper rifle, like a real one.
Well, you know what? I don't know how big a sniper rifle is, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a big sniper-looking gun.
I'm going to go with that one.
Okay, the gun.
I recall an article you wrote at Build of the Week, which was a damn gun, and so I think this one is true. I think that's the correct answer.
You're right.
Damn gun.
It's the gun. It's the gun. I gotta show Rachel here, just real quick. This.
Oh yeah, no, it's
a gun.
That's a gun.
Some guy. It's not a functioning weapon, unless you want to consider how it kills graphics. But it. Thank you. And but it's got a stock. It's got a barrel. It's got everything guns have. They just don't do gun things. It looks nice. There's this. I forget the. This modder out of Thailand. Yeah. I'm probably gonna pronounce this wrong, but Suchao. Modding design does some of the wildest stuff over there. There's a whole culture of like just PC modding in Thailand that you just don't get here, and that's because a lot of manufacturers are based, out there. So there's real pride in like what you can make with that stuff, and they're local companies and such. So, all right, next question. Stupid. Which is a real PC and which is not? Wooden stagecoach made of wood, it's made of wood, or the Magna Carta but a computer.
I'm gonna say stagecoach because I can sort of picture that.
Yeah,
it might be kind of nice looking.
I'm gonna say the Magna Carta.
Okay, give me the reason why you think it's the Magna Carta, because I like to hear the logic going on, tinkering around.
Because I think the stagecoach. I think you've deliberately said stagecoach because you can picture it, and it would be amazing. And so, like, you're undermining. I think and so it's the Magna Carta.
It's the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
No, it's the stagecoach.
Oh.
Threw you off the trail there. Threw you off the scent. But I mean,
I'm
look
excited
at this
that.
it's
to be real.
It's so intricate and nicely done. I'll link to that in chat here. But yeah, the stagecoach. It's a beaut. It's a beaut.
It is.
Well
done,
someone get on that Magna
Stagecoach.
Carta though, because that I think it can be done. It can be done. There's some PC concepts that make me believe any of these. You guys may say they're ridiculous, too ridiculous to be true, but at this point, after doing this for 2 years, I truly believe you can make anything.
You've seen some shit, man.
I've seen some shit. Oh, one sec. Our camera is losing its mind. I just need to fix that real quick. And oh,
it's flashing at us.
Get that down here. All right, we're good.
Cool.
Next question. Which is a real PC and which is not? A computer built to fit a person inside of it, or a functioning toilet computer?
To fit a person inside, like a coffin, but it's a computer?
I can't give you more details.
Or a phone booth?
A person this computer was made.
A person can get inside.
So a person can get inside of it. It was built to fit a man inside of it.
Does it say anything that my mind went to coffin immediately before anything else can a person get into?
I mean, if I was going to get buried with anything.
What was the second choice?
Or a functioning toilet computer.
Toilet. Do you mean it looks like a toilet, or it's a computer you can use on the toilet?
You can take a shit.
Functioning toilet computer.
I'm going functioning toilet computer because I can see how that would.
Chris, what was your answer?
I'll do the coffin.
Rachel, I want to believe so desperately, but it's not the toilet.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I could just see it. I can see it in what's the bit on the back of a toilet called? The water tank?
Tank, I guess.
You can have that and it'd be water cooling everything. And
you flush it to just turn down the temperature real quick. Oh my God. I mean, I think these two ideas, because the computer you're built to get inside of is just like a giant chassis that you sit in. There's a chair, and then your computer is like right there. But why not put the toilet in the seat?
Once you're in the computer, is it even a computer anymore? Once you're
See, I mean, these are questions that
is it a case
predate man.
if it's holding you?
Why is a computer not a computer?
Is it just a room?
Is this all computers are rooms when you think about it?
Oh man.
Deep. I hate these. Which is a real custom PC and which is not? A sweet bong or a computer with a liquid loop that eternally pours wine? A sweet bong
I'm going to go with the wine.
or a computer with a liquid loop that eternally pours
I'm
wine?
going to go wine.
I'm gonna go with bong because I can't imagine someone hasn't made a bong out of a PC.
I just like the idea of holding a dinner party with my wine PC case.
You can just dip down, like fill
Yeah.
your cup real quick, and just keeping yourself cool and your games cool. It's the wine PC.
Yes.
This is probably one of the craziest PCs I've ever found, honestly. There's literally a... Oh, Rachel, do you mind hitting that, like the standing up and turn that light back on? This is a fun part of our room right now. Sometimes the lights turn off because it's blocked. Thank you. Yeah, so there's this PC has a... You can fill it with real wine if you like. The liquid cooling loop is not actually wine because that would not work. But there is a fucking eternal fountain of wine just coursing through this thing. It's beautiful, and I don't think I can ever find a PC better. That said, if there's not a bong computer out there yet, what the fuck, like, year is it?
I
Like,
know.
right? It's 2018. That should exist. It's like Rule 78. Like, what have we not made a bong out of yet? So
There's
get to
probably
it.
about 12 in San Francisco alone.
Right.
surely.
Email me, james@pcgamer.com. Make a good bong, a sweet bong out of a computer, please. I'm desperate.
No unsweet bongs, though.
No, it's got to be a sweet bong. It's got to be
Yeah.
a bong I can get a mighty juicy rip out of. Thank you.
Also, bobcats. Let us know. if
Yeah,
you
And a
have
bobcat.
bobcats.
That's
Although
important.
don't kill a bobcat, but if you have an existing stuffed bobcat, I'm not on board with you killing a bobcat.
No.
If you do kill a bobcat, use the PC that it looks like a gun.
To do it. It's the
Bring it
only
all full circle.
natural way.
It's the circle of life.
Okay, we got a couple more. Which one is a real PC and which is not? A hollowed out diesel engine or a tire? Like for a car, like a car tire. So, I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
You know,
I think a
don't trust
diesel
me.
engine would look pretty cool if it was nice and shiny.
I'm
I don't know
gonna
what diesel engines look like.
I'm
to
gonna
be
say a
honest.
tire because like it's so lame.
So we
It's
got.
the only thing more boring than a wall, I think, would be a tire. If you're gonna pick an object,
I mean, you could roll it away from danger, I guess.
So you got. I mean, you got to understand. Like when I do this column every week, when I find something like a wall or a tire, like what runs through my mind. I'm simultaneously impressed, but also like devastated because why?
Yeah.
Why? It's a tire. It's the tire.
Oh my
Tire.
god.
Someone made a damn tire computer. Look at this. Look at that. It's just a tire.
Ugh.
I mean, it
Well-
looks pretty. There's a glass side, but it's the concept itself.
I feel like that's the kind of thing that would be in like a Mercedes-Benz showroom.
Yeah, sure. Like built for a specific like
Yeah.
event or something. But nah, they just made it because he likes tires. Or, I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
likes cars.
That's the weird thing is you get a lot of modders who just like have an interest. They like Groot or they like cars, and they're like, "How can I make a PC that expresses this?" A tire. I mean, that's cool, but it means the modding scene is just like, what
I know,
about?
where is it? Someone make me a
It's-
case that looks like Chris Hemsworth's chest.
You know, I've seen quite a few just busts of men
Yeah.
PCs,
A
like busts
Hemsworth.
of superheroes. So
Specifically Thor
you heard it.
case. Or
need
like a gothy vampire one. I'd also be if someone could make a case with turrets, like a Dracula's castle
That'd be
case.
tight.
That'd be
That'd be
amazing.
tight. I'm into that. So yeah, it was a tire. It's a damn tire. We got a couple more. Which is a real PC and which is not? A flaming skeleton on a motorcycle or a plaster bust of hockey legend Wayne Gretzky.
That feels like a Tyler answer.
is that Ghost Rider? Is that who you're referring to, or is it just a random skeleton?
I don't know if the builder, due to copyright law, can officially call it Ghost.
Yeah, I'm saying the skeleton because the other one is a Tyler answer for sure.
Damn, I shouldn't have said Tyler helped.
Yeah. Correct?
Yeah, I think I'll go with the skeleton on this motorcycle then.
It's the skeleton on the motorcycle. I had to include that answer though, because I think that was Tyler's way of like willing that kind of computer into the world. So if it hasn't happened yet, I know we have like a shitload of Canadians who read us somehow and some reason. Half our Discord is like Canadian men, like age 25 to 40.
I love a Canadian man.
They're great. They're so nice. They're all great. But you all know what to do now. You all know what to do. We got 2 more here. Okay. Which is a real custom PC and which is not a PC built for ants or a PC built in the image of an ant.
PC built for ants. As you know how small an ant is.
A PC built for a very large ant.
Built for ants or ant singular? Is it like he's
Or
got to do
somebody's ant.
he's got to do
Oh my
his taxes, or is it like you're creating one for the hive the hive can use it?
Imagine like a handful of ants came together to make a tiny like G.I. Joe sized human. That kind of ant. Ants plural.
What was the other option?
Or a PC built in the image of an ant.
I'm going to go image of an ant.
Yeah, because I still don't understand the first one.
A small computer. It's a very small computer. It's the small computer. It's the PC for ants.
But it's not really for ants. How can they do
Oh my god! It's a
Do you know
figure
how
of speech.
tiny it would have to be?
It means tiny computer. A PC built for a Pepsi can. As this
Oh, well,
video.
the Pepsi can is massive compared to an ant.
But the PC is like, it's like.
Now, if you'd said a PC built for a mouse or
Okay.
a guinea pig, but ants are tiny. They're the
I
smallest
was going
thing.
with the internet thing. Isn't there like an internet thing where everyone's like?
There's the
for ants.
Zoolander quote.
Oh,
What
it's
is
a
this?
Zoolander quote.
Yeah.
God damn it! I need to get up on my memes. All right. Well, I fucked that one up.
I'm going to say that one's. We both get a point.
You both get a point. Chris is in the lead.
is
I'm
someone
actually
keeping
not
score?
keeping score. No, I'm not keeping score.
He just doesn't like me
for
for
challenging
shouting
me.
at him about ants.
Rachel -5.
I like ants.
I don't.
I enjoy you, social insect.
You know, since moving to the Bay, you like drop a crumb on the floor and you get those tiny sugar ants who just like from 10 miles away like march into your house. They don't bite you or bother you, but they just like form a line.
They're like my spirit animal, just sugar. I can just sense it.
Yeah. Okay, final question. Y'all ready? Which is a real custom PC and which is not? And I'm realizing now I might have to change the fake answer because it's too Tyler-y. And I realize by saying that now you're going to know. God damn it. Wait, no, okay. I'll still read Tyler's fake answer because I like it. Okay. This has three possible 3 answers. 2 are fake, 1 is real. Which is a real custom PC and which is not? A tiny computer built within another computer's case. A diorama of Jerry's apartment in Seinfeld. Or a spinning Ferris wheel computer with an inner wheel that spins in the opposite direction as the outer wheel somehow.
I'm going to say the Seinfeld one because I just want it to be true. I don't think it is, but I want it to be true.
Chris?
What was the first one again?
Tiny
computer built inside another computer?
Yes. Like a Russian nesting doll of computers, of PC
That's
gaming.
probably the real one, but I want the Seinfeld one to be true. But that's the one you made up on the fly, isn't it?
Which one?
The Seinfeld.
I'm trying to figure out which is the Tyler one. Is he a big Seinfeld fan?
No, I think the last one, the
like Ferris wheels?
wheel that spins the opposite way thing.
I
That sounds
thought Tyler was a known Seinfeld guy. But I realized by saying that I'm probably giving it away.
I'll go with the small PC that's built inside another PC.
So we have...
Are we talking ant small? Is that what we're talking?
No, imagine like enough ants to make the size of a football, and then that football... No. We're talking about...
Can I change my answer to the
What?
Ferris wheel?
Sure, Rachel. I wonder why you would do this. Wow, you got it correct. It's the Ferris wheel. It is a
Same.
spinning Ferris wheel. Let me read that again. A spinning Ferris wheel computer with an inner wheel that spins in the opposite direction as the outer wheel somehow. And this is a confounding piece of machinery. I'll link it here. Boink.
Was that at KoeiCon? I feel like I maybe saw that one year.
Maybe. Let me show you real quick, Rachel. This is by Modder Crow. Look at that. Look at that. It's impossible.
Ooh.
It's rad. It's quite insane.
Steampunky.
It's like a clock. It's not a Ferris wheel exactly, but to get the image.
No,
for
it's
you
cool.
guys.
That's super cool.
It's wild.
Does it pour wine?
It could if these each of these little modules dipped into a pool and then spilled over into a cup.
Yeah, that could for real.
It could still do some wine. So I think everyone lost. I won. Good job, me, for writing all those build of the weeks.
We've all lost it.
Just kidding. We're all winners here and losers because there's some wacky ass shit people are making computers out of and into. And every single week it never fails to sort of unlock some kind of dark chamber of my mind. So thank you for that, computer building enthusiasts. And with that, quiz done. And let me know if you're enjoying these quizzes or not. I know I'm no fantastic aficionado like of PC Gamer but I'm having fun making them. And if you enjoy them, or if you have ideas for quizzes, please help me out because I think I have probably one idea left until I'm literally out. Let's move on to questions and answers.
Was this second? I'm hoping someone's written in with a relationship dilemma. Does that happen often?
We don't. But hey, hey, Twitch chat, if you have relationship questions, Rachel, our specialist, is here to answer. So tag PC Gamer Twitch chat if you have any questions about video games or relationships. Otherwise, we do take questions from our PC Gamer Club Discord and read those first because
they're special.
They are very special.
But you could also be special.
You could be special. If you go to club.pcgamer.com, you can learn all about the club. It's a pretty cheap subscription. There's a $4 and $5 option. The $5 option gets you a buttload of stuff, an invite to our private Discord, which is just packed and full of really cool people, like mostly Canadian men, if that's your thing. And you get a digital subscription to our magazine. You get an ad-free experience on our site. You get Tub Geralt wallpapers because, of course, you get a free game each month. You get beta keys that, if we get a buttload of beta keys, we'll send them out to you guys first or any other special treat. And now we're trying to get a bunch of in-game items for club members. So an example is, Jesus, I forget the name of it. Elite Dangerous. There's a ship skin, PC Gamer exclusive ship skin you can get. In Rising Storm 2, we have a couple of cool tattoos, including this guy, Coconut Monkey, and an empty tub and a really cool helmet that says "Make Mods Not War," which I like a lot. And we're trying to expand that program to as many games as we possibly can. So if you like little trinkets that express yourself and express your like for us, then think about it. Think about it. Cool. So again, questions at PC Gamer in chat, and I'll try to get to the Twitch ones if we have time. But let's start off with, let's see, who gave me one? Oh, Nick Manley, 1987 from the Discord, wanted to know, and I don't really know much about the legal implications of this, but he was wondering if we had any thoughts on what there's this news story that came out. Germany may ban loot boxes. If we had any opinions or thoughts about like a government body stepping in to ban something like that in games. Do you guys have any thoughts about a government body stepping in to kind of influence that one way or the other?
I think it's going to be inevitable the more loot boxes become essentially like gambling, which is what they are, kind of.
Yeah.
And governments are very, very tough on any kind of gambling stuff, really. So I think I don't particularly like it, but I think it's going to be a line that loot boxes have to tread, because the minute, anytime you're getting someone to play a game of chance for money, that's not that far from heading over to Vegas for a weekend.
Except games don't dispense alcohol. Yeah. Maybe someday. Chris, do you care? Any thoughts? Gambling, loot boxes, Germany?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell, like, on the politics side, how much of it is how seriously they're taking it, or if they're really looking into it, or if it's just they heard they were gambling and so they should say something. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't know what Germany's laws are on gambling as a whole. I guess it's probably something to do with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of minutia, like, I just don't know going in, and even a bunch of research probably wouldn't give me enough of a well-informed opinion about. But I think to some extent, yeah, it's good that these systems have the attention of, you know, gambling regulators at the very least. I get that. I understand the concern, like government bodies stepping in to censor games. Like that's like a gut reaction a lot of people are having. And I don't know if we're not even close to that yet. I mean, games are already regulated, you know, plenty of ways, like just inherently through like obscenity laws and you know, rating regulations and all that kind of stuff, content regulations. So I'm okay with a potentially dangerous, well, not even potentially, because loot boxes are dangerous for a lot of people with addictive personalities. I'm okay with that, like being on the chopping block. But I
feel like may ban as well. That, you know, like what stage are we talking here? Is it just in discussion? Is it like
so
someone's brought it up in their kind of parliamentary house? Because that's a long way off.
Yeah. I think play it cool for now. Keep an eye on it, and if you really want to worry when it becomes very apparent that we need to worry. And I think ideally we will provide coverage that, like, and our coverage of these things will reflect that, and keep you informed of like when it might be a problem. But thanks for that question, Nick. Buttface Jones. So he says, The Surge is getting a sequel. Yes. Does that mean everybody was worried about the death of single player has to shut up now? Thanks. I don't know. I don't think single player games are going anywhere. And I think The Surge is like a good example of like a single player game that can work without being like top tier AAA, like millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars behind it. It kind of targeted a not quite a niche, but like a broad audience, not everyone. And I think I don't know its budget, and I don't know how successful it's been enough to warrant a sequel. But I think, you know, that's what you'll see.
Yeah, I feel like the death of single player thing is kind of not.
It's not
real in any way.
No.
Despite what Bethesda would like you to.
You might see like the rate of big, you know, blockbuster single player games slow here and there because of.
Just because they're such big, but there's so many cool little indie single player games as well.
The market, like the industry is like broadening in that way. I think, and as the industry broadens and like more people can make games and like certain processes are like easier to automate or whatever, like you're gonna see more single player games. Yeah,
I mean, I mainly play single player games, and I'm very rarely stuck for something to, you know.
Yeah, I think I also have to believe single player games will never die because I'm like you, and I play, it's mostly what I play. So yeah, cool. Truzen asks, with the amount of games out there, how do you figure which ones are worth playing, especially ones where it can become a time sink? And do you have any personal metrics? He gives us an example here. If I've never played a game before, I have a 15 to 30 minute rule. If it's not fun in that time frame, it's shelved. It's a pretty good rule if you have a lot on your shelf, I suppose. Do you guys have any like metrics or rules for?
I think I'm the same way with dog appearance. I'm the same way with books. I've been playing games so long, and I'm lucky enough in my job to have access to so many that I can kind of know pretty early on if something's gonna work for me or not. Like it's the same with reading a book. Like I get a feeling, you know, a few pages in, I just know if I like the kind of the voice and the vibe. Sometimes, you know, reading something online or talking to friends can help me overcome that and make me push through and keep trying with something. But usually it's, I just kind of know if I've connected with something.
Yeah, same. I can dip my toe in the water and generally understand. I think there are always exceptions to that. And the fact of the matter is, like, none of us can spend 5 hours in a game to get over like some hump that, you know, makes it click with us.
It's also quite often our job to play games that we don't like. So and that's the other thing.
That's one of the favorite things about the job is like my horizons have expanded a lot since being here. I don't know. It's for me, like I can't remember what developer did this. I'll have to credit them after the fact, but on Twitter, someone said like I do games tourism like once a week, where I look at my Steam library, unplayed games, and I say, okay, I'm going to play like 15 minutes of each of these for like 2 hours, and like just go through a list. And sometimes they'll stream it, and that's like a really fun way to kind of explore and check yourself against things that you may or may not like that have been sitting there or you are on the fence about. So
yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Chris, do you have any metrics for yourself for what's worth your time?
Does it have trees that you can chop down?
If it doesn't have trees, don't even come at him.
I think if I can get a sense of kind of how it works very quickly,
Yeah.
like if it's something where it starts and there's this huge bunch of menus and things and no real indication, and I feel like I'm gonna have to be like going to wiki pages or tutorials outside of the game right away, I kind of like, well, I kind of feel like, well, if I don't have 4 hours right now, I probably won't bother at all. So something that kind of gets you very quickly, at least into the basics,
Yeah.
I think have a better chance of me sticking around long enough than something where it's just like a big, complicated thing to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have, and this is actually one of the things with, I mean, this is a console game, but with Monster Hunter, I felt like in the first 10 minutes,
Yeah.
I'd read about 6,000 words of like, you know, info screens and things. And that's not like that. You lose me quite quickly.
It's tutorial after tutorial, and
Yeah.
it doesn't help that the font is like squished and tiny.
So any game that I just feel like that immediately turns me off.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a real challenge as a developer. Like, there's probably so much pressure on that first, like, 15
Yeah.
minutes, just getting people into it. I do not envy, you know, the people who make these games and live or die by that.
I can do it.
That's pretty scary. But there are some games that I know I would probably like, but always, because of my personal rules, will never play. Like dedicated, like Crusader Kings 2 and stuff like that. I admire them from a distance, but I just don't think I can ever play them as well.
See, I played a lot of that. That was one of the ones where I got enough enjoyment playing without having any idea of what I was doing from it. And so I would just, it was work. Like, I had to really force myself. But I would just take notes like, I don't understand what that was. I don't know what this thing means. And then after the game, you know, I wouldn't last very long. But after the game, I would kind of look it up and see, oh, now I understand that part and that part. And then I'd try again. That's one that was definitely worth sort of like accepting that it's complicated and that you're going to fail a few times, because it's really rewarding in terms of the game and the stories you can pull out of it. So that's that's a big confusing one that is definitely worth like really kind of pushing yourself through.
Yeah, there's all these exceptions to our own rules, and well, that's encouraging. So you can have fun even if you fail and don't.
Yeah, like I didn't because I went to a tutorial page and it was like 40 pages, and I read like the first page and I was like, all right, I'm just going to try it after reading one page.
Yeah.
And like I didn't understand a lot of stuff that was happening, but still enjoyed enough of it to keep going. So.
Right on. Cool. Thanks for the question. That was Truzen. We do have a few more I'll run through quickly. JBJ Blaze, can you say anything on if free Twitch subs may be included in the PC Gamer Club? I can't right now. That kind of planning is a bit above me at the moment.
Above our pay grade.
Yeah. So, I mean, we want to, like, the thing is the club, we will try to make better all the time, and how much of sway we have over that and how quickly we can make these bring changes into effect is hard to gauge. So
they're always hustling for you.
Yeah, don't take like silence on that subject as like we're not doing anything to make the club better. There's like the people doing this stuff have a huge list of things they want to bring to it. So yeah, and that is one of them, I'm sure. So sit tight. I'm sorry, but it's pretty good value for $5 already. So, you know, I can't say like whether that'll ever happen or not, but I would like it. I would like it. I think that would be a nice addition. AV Sniper, why is it so difficult for open world survival games to have decent melee combat? I think citing like Ark and Rust and that whole slew of games. And Chris, as sort of the open world survival game expert, is there anything you can sort of conclude from that? I don't know. We're not designers, but
I don't know. It is really very true though. The melee is usually pretty terrible. I don't know. Maybe it's with so much other stuff in the game, like making that kind of system on top of that is. I have no idea. I'm just talking. I have no idea why it's always so bad. It is always very mushy and hacky, slashy, without feeling like you're really connecting with something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that like it's hard to make a combat system that's gratifying that also uses like the same verbs and interface as the stuff that you used to chop down trees and like do like really menial repetitive tasks with. It'd be really, yeah, it'd be kind of an uncomfortable fit. But hey, I don't know. These games are pretty. A lot of them are in progress and complicated, and I don't know. Maybe it's just not a priority. It's about chopping those trees. That always feels good. Chopping the trees feels good, at least. So.
No, it doesn't.
Nothing, absolutely nothing to worry about there. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for hanging out. You can always catch us 1 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/PCGamer. You can check out the VOD, usually later, a couple hours after the show, on youtube.com/PCGamer. And you can go to PCGamer.com/tag/podcast to see our entire archive of shows so far and catch the show posts where you can download an MP3 if you're old school like that, or you can get the RSS feed for your favorite subscription service, or you can get the iTunes link there. So, yeah, so many ways to listen, so many ways to enjoy our voices. And you can also go to pcgamer.com/build-of-the-week if you want to see, peek into my weekly existential crisis and see cool computers at the same time. But anyway, thanks for joining us. And don't forget to, I'm trying to think of a good, like, tagline for ending the show, like, game on, or, like, power up. Don't forget to restart. Don't forget to plug in and play. Don't forget to
put a PC in a wall.
There it is. Don't forget to put a PC in a wall and send me pictures of it. No, go make that sweet bong. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.